Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the cohort studies, right? So in research there are so many methods we have discussed, like observational study and this what you call intervention study, and today we are going to discuss about the cohort study. So cohort study, it is nothing but when we are trying to find out any what is the happening in any group of people, right? If any group of people, what kind of similarity, suppose say for example now covid vaccination it is going on in India in 6 state, right? So in that Telangana state, the 18 plus vaccination it has not been started. So what is the their means the proceedings, how it is, what is the kind of infection they are getting after, and those state who has started the vaccination for 18 plus age group, what kind of symptoms and the other observation it is going to happen, or it is happening, that we need to compare. Means in 18 plus 18 to 45 age group, in those who have taken the vaccination, those who have not taken the vaccination, what kind of symptom, what kind of infection rate it is going on. So that's what, in any, I'm not talking about covid only, in any disease or any kinds of in medical research, we are trying to find out the disease is spreading in particular age group, or in the particular group of people, or particular group of community, what happening, right? So here the concept of cohort, let us try to understand. The word cohort is derived from the Latin cohorts, meaning an enclosure, a company or crowd. That's what crowd means, the bheed, or the people where they're in the group, right? Or in the company, any group of people, right? So what happened actually, the word they are meaning, the Latin word, the meaning it is like that. So as the name indicate, cohort study means in that group of people what kind of disease spreading it is there, that we are going to study in the medical research. So in Roman times, there is one example it has given. In Roman time, a cohort was a body of 300 to 600 infantry. Means the means what we can say, what do you call, military peoples or soldiers. Soldiers there in Roman time, it was there in 300 to 600 people in that soldiers group. That is first named cohort. So from there it has been taken, right? So in another terminology, in this, the epidemiological term of cohort is a group of people with something in common. The group of people with something in common, usually an exposure or involvement in a defined population group, right? So that's what now this the coronavirus is spreading, right? So now previously there used to be the virus, it used to be in Maharashtra and Kerala and few state only, but now the exposure or the group of people, it may be the 18 to 45, 45 to 60, 60 above 60, all group of people, they have got the covid infection. So what is happening, and before that when the particular group of people they infected, what happening. So that's what, people with something in common, whether it is age group or spreading or taken vaccination or any kinds of anything, right? So let us try to define the cohort. Cohort study is a type of analytical study which is undertaken to obtain additional evidence to refute or support the existence of associated between suspected cause and the disease, right? Some people may be exposed to the covid, but they may not showing any symptoms. Some people they will get moderate, some they will go severe. That's we are observing now, right? So what we are trying here, trying to obtain the additional evidences that if they're getting fever, cold, cough or something like that, they might be having covid or something other virus infection, normal flu, seasonal flu, or whatever it is. So to support the suspected and the disease, actually those who are diseased or those who are suspected, that's what we are going to correlate. Other names of cohort study are longitudinal study or incident study, and also forward looking study. right? So this we are doing these three other name we can say. Coming to the feature of cohort studies, cohort are indefined identified the prior to appearance of disease under investigation, right? Suppose if any the now COVID disease is under investigation, so what we will do is the we are identify prior to identify. Suppose if anybody exposed, those who are going regularly to the hospital, it may be nurse, it may be ward boy, it may be medical staff, pharmacist, anybody. So we are trying to go for RT-PCR test randomly, and we will find out that if he is having COVID positive, he is not having COVID positive prior to appearance of disease, prior, before. So the study group are observed over a period of time to determine the frequency of disease among them. How many people out of 100, suppose in one population group 100 people are there, so out of 100 how many are suffering from that particular disease? The study proceeds from cause to effect, right? So this study, the cohort study, it will start from cause to effect. What is the cause? They have gone to the market, they have gone to the crowded place, and what is the effect? Whether they have got fever, cold, cough, chest pain, breathlessness, all those things. So till this entire thing what we are doing in the cohort study. The COVID-19 situation is very good for understanding to cohort study. So indications of cohort study. There is a good evidences of an association between exposure and disease from other studies. Exposure is rare. Some people may, some people may not. Then attrition of study population can be minimized here, and sufficient funds should be available. If it is available, then only we can go for this kind of study. So framework, when we talk about the cohort study, that cohort populations wherever we are selecting, suppose Telangana region, Hyderabad, RR district or something like that. So in that RR district, how many are frontline workers, they are exposed? Those who are retired people, those who are student group, the housewives, children, they are unexposed. Chances are there, right? So the medical staff, the cleaning staff, and the electricity department and all other department, they are definitely, they have the emergency service, they have to expose. So in that exposed group, diseased and non-diseased, again we are going to do, suppose randomly RT-PCR test used to be done. So there how many people are diseased or suffering from the COVID-19, so how many are not suffering from the COVID-19. In unexposed also there may be news that it is spreading from the air also, right? Air, they are forming the droplets. In droplets they can travel into the air for a long time. So in that unexposed group also, how many are diseased, how many are non-diseased, that we are trying to know in the framework of cohort study. Study design up, how we are going to design up cohort study. Here you can see, first identify the exposed and non-exposed group, right? So how many it is there total, A plus B and C plus D, that we have to identify in a particular area, right? Then we have to go for the what you call follow to see whether exposed and non-exposed has developed a disease or disease does not develop, or what is the total number, what is the incidence of the disease, that we are trying to. Here you can see the disease developed A in exposed group, disease developed in non-exposed group C, and the disease does not develop means B in exposed group. Where disease does not develop in non-exposed group, it is D. So you can the incidence of disease, you can A plus B, A divided by A plus B in the non-exposed group, C plus D, C divided by C plus D, right? So A plus B, it is called study cohort, and C plus D, it is called control cohort, because they are not exposed. We can keep them into the control group. So likewise design, we have to prepare for any disease, not only for corona, it may be for TB, it may be for some other communicable disease, normal flu, N1, H1, or it may be the chicken pox or anything what it is spreading in epidemic or in pandemic form. Consideration during selection of cohort, we have how we are going to consider, whom we are going to consider. The cohort must be free from disease under study, first of all. Then insofar as the knowledge permits, both the group should be equal susceptible to disease under study. Whatever exposed and non unexposed, both groups should be susceptible to study. They may get is the particular virus if they will come into the contact. That should be there, right? So that we have to decide. Both the group must be comparable in respect to all variables which influence the occurrence of disease, right? What are the things are influencing the occurrence of disease, right? In that it must be comparable in all respects. It may be age, sex, what do you call exposures. Say for example, area wise, the US people or those who are the country which is having cold climate, hot climate. So what is the difference of the susceptibility that we need to consider? Diagnostic and eligibility criteria of disease must be defined beforehand. What are the diagnostic parameters you are going to select, right? RT-PCR test, then HRD, then antigen antibody test, and many things are which is there in this scenario we have seen gone through. So we should know that what are the things we are going to consider during this before starting the study. Type of cohort study: the first one, prospective study, retrospective cohort study, and director the dictional cohort study, right? Directional cohort study, right? So these three are there that we are going to discuss one by one. Prospective cohort: what do you mean by prospective cohort? The common strategy of cohort studies is to start when a reference population, right? It is representative sample. Reference population means representative sample from where we are going to collect the sample size, some of whom have certain characteristic or attributes relevant to the study, or exposed group or unexposed group, whatever it is. Other who do not have those characteristic, unexposed group. That's what we have discussed into the design of cohort study: exposed group and unexposed group. In both the case, what is the population, because in that the entire exposed and unexposed, the entire thing we are telling this representative sample, or these are the reference population, right? So there, that's what we are considering. This is prospective cohort. Both groups should at the outset of the study be free from the condition under consideration. Both groups are then observed over a specified period to find out the risk. Each group has to develop the conditions of interest, right? So here we can see the example of prospective cohort study here in framework. Also you can see here that prospective in 1948 it has given the defined Framingham study population, non-randomized, in exposed, unexposed, disease, non-disease, disease, non-disease, right? So here the Framingham heart study, what we are doing here, the Framingham initiated in 1948 to study the relationship of variety of factors to the subsequent development of heart disease with 5,127 samples at Framingham. The study subjects were examined every 2 years for up to 20 years. Daily surveillance of hospitalizations at Framingham Hospital. Study found that hypertension, tobacco smoking, the elevated blood cholesterol are associated with CHD, congestive heart disease. Increased physical activity associated with decreased heart disease, risk of heart disease. So this study has been done in that particular hospital, that is known as Framingham. Their non-randomized selection they have done from one side, right? Exposed and not exposed. So they have got the different types of. So like that we are going to prospective. We have to design the cohort study into the particular age group or particular population. Second one, the here the problem, some problem it is their problem of prospective study might take long duration, since it until, because 20 years we have seen into the this example, right? 20 years for each every 2 year interval. So it is taking long time. Sufficient amount of funding for long period, since it is long term study, the entire time period fund should be available in hand, and that is rare. So missing of study subjects, sometimes we are not able to get the subjects, and this kind of study subjects, it is very rare. Coming to the second type, that is the retrospective cohort study. Retrospective cohort study is one in which the outcome have all occurred before the start of the investigation. The investigator goes back to the past to select the study group from existing records of the past employment, medical and other records, and trace them forward through time from the past date fixed onto the records, usually to the present. Sometime might have suffered from swine flu N1H1. Now they are suffering from COVID-19, first time and second time. So in this we have to go to the past. What happened? The same kind of virus they have attacked to the particular patient, and what was the response at that time? Likewise, known with the name of historical cohort and non-current cohort, right? So that we have to consider in the retrospective cohort study. Here example of retrospective study, you can see here into the diagram the defined population, any defined population. It may be the 18 to 28 age group. So non-randomized, we have to select from the particular area. It may they those who are exposed, those who are not exposed. In exposed age group, what are the how many are the diseased, how many are the non-diseased. In non-exposed, again we have to go into the same model, but it is retrospective, means you can see here the 1988 and the 1998, 10 year, then 2008. So in each there is a 10-year gap. So what happened in during this period? So that we need to consider here. Suppose we begin our study on association between smoking habit and lung cancer in 2008, right? That has been rounded here in red, you can see into the diagram. Now we find that an old roster of elementary school children from 1988 is available in our community, and that they had been survived regarding their smoking habit in 1998. Using these data resources in 2008, we can begin to determine who in this population has developed lung cancer and who has not, right? So if you are having the 1998 data, then you can predict that they might have gone through the smoking in that 10 year before or 10-20 year ago, so they are now suffering from the disease or lung cancer. Likewise, ambidirectional cohort study, elements of prospective and retrospective cohort are combined. The cohort is identified from past records and access the date for the outcome. The same cohort is followed up the prospectively into future for the further assessment of outcome. So here what is the example of ambidirectional cohort? It Kurt Brown and Doll's study, that is the name of the scientist, on effect of radiation began in 1955 with 13,352 patients who received a large dose of radiation therapy. Now also it is going on, right? Laser techniques, it is available for the ankylosing spondylitis between 1934 to 1954. So for the spondylitis treatment, laser therapy has been taken in 1955 in this many patients, 13,000. So outcome evaluated was death from leukemia or aplastic anemia between 1934 to 19 in the same time period, 1954, right? So the prospective component was added up in 1955, and the surviving subjects were followed up to identify deaths in subsequent year, right? So that's what we have to combine in both prospective and retrospective, so that we will be able to predict that how many death has been occurred because of the radiation therapy in that particular time period. So how we can conclude this study, cohort study, that cohort studies are very important observation on research in medical field. This type of design help the medical research scholar to know about current status of any disease spread among public. Now in COVID-19 pandemic also, this is only going on by different organizations. Cohort study design should be in a such a way so that it will reveals the authenticate and real results, what happened, what is the actual cause of the death, what is the actual cause of the disease, what is the actual cause of the particular incidents, that we should know. We will be able to know at most of the significant result. That's what the designing of cohort study should be there in very much proper, and so that we can have the proper result. Thank you all.